You're about to watch another exciting episode of the Dungeon Run. But did you know that you can actually be part of the adventure? Tune in live on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and you can make your voice heard and help determine the fate of our adventurers. Hope to see you there.
Greetings and welcome, friends, to the Dungeon Run, and welcome to a special episode of Forbidden, our Call of Cthulhu series. Now, if you've never seen this series before, you've chosen a good night to jump in, because we're doing a special one-shot, GM'd by me, and starring none other than our own beloved, greatly missed Kiki Lee!
Hi, you guys! Hi! I'm so happy to see you. I can't see any of you.
We missed you. You've been busy being IT department to the stars, and
yes, Patty from IT.
Patty from IT. That's right.
Yeah.
Have you taught Idris Elba how to play D&D?
Something tells me he might already know how.
I believe it.
Yeah.
If anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, just go Google Kiki and IT and.
It's so nice to be here. I'm glad to hang out with you.
I know, we're with you, but it is just you tonight. All the gloves are off. Hope you're okay with that.
Just me and all of your personalities.
And all of my many personalities. That's right. Yeah, no, I know you've never. So you have played Call of Cthulhu before. We were just talking about. You played that wonderful, hilarious Regency game with you and Katie and Jessica and Serena with Becca Scott for Good Time Society.
Yeah. Yep.
And I thought I'd never GM for you before, but no, that's right. I did run the Comic-Con game that you were so amazing in.
Didn't we play it? Was that? It wasn't.
That was D&D. No.
No. The other one where we had like the Razor scooter.
Oh, right. Yeah, but nobody runs those games. Those games are just kind of, there is no GM on those, right?
I guess so.
That was
I felt bossed around. That's all I'm saying. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Wow. Wish you'd have told me.
Just kidding. It was Adam. It was Adam's
fault. Let's blame Adam. God, we're gonna go back and rewatch that one now. That was hilarious. The fiasco. That was wow.
Yes.
The name of that game just went.
It was one of my favorite times with you guys. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, and Serena's spookily good android. Anyway, we can't wait. We're gonna dive into a special one-on-one adventure investigation with Kiki's character, who you'll be meeting in just a moment. But I wanted to, as we do up top every week, scheduling note before we get to the sponsors. We won't have a new episode next week. We might be doing a dungeon rewatch. Ron, I know, is going to be organizing that. But I have something special going on that night I can't wait to tell you all about. So keep an eye on the Discord for updates in the next few days. And for the first time, I have to tell you that it is not my fault that I can't tell you something. It is somebody else's fault, and I will tell you when I'm allowed to tell you. But yeah, keep your eyes on the Discord, and there's something fun coming up the night of Wednesday, April 22nd. So you be on the lookout, and then we'll be back soon with more episodes of Forbidden and more episodes of Stormborn and all that funny business. Anyway, we are sponsored by Die Hard Dice, the place to go for gorgeous dice and accessories with free shipping on all orders $40 or more. They are the place to go for your favorite math rocks. Die Hard has also brought back their special Loot the Castle promotion, where you can earn a bunch of awesome free stuff with each order of $30 or more. You can earn gorgeous free dice boxes, so much more when you complete any order now at dieharddice.com. It's the perfect example, like buy gifts for friends and then just get yourself some free stuff on the side. Hey, because, you deserve it, buddies. Don't forget to use your coupon code DUNGEONRUN at checkout. That's capital DNR, no space, for a discount on us. And yeah, take advantage of that Loot the Castle promotion. We are also sponsored by Eldritch Foundry, where imagination meets craftsmanship. Build gorgeous detailed minis for all your games, now available pre-painted. And as we talked about last week, they have available now for a short time with only a few spots left, Eldritch Unlimited Lifetime Subscription. That's right. Eldritch Unlimited is their subscription where you get unlimited STLs for your 3D printer and design all the minis you could want, in this case, for the rest of your life, available for a one-time payment of $499. They don't do this often. So pay once, print forever with Eldritch Unlimited lifetime subscription. Take advantage of it now, you 3D printing weirdos. I know you. Ron's told me about you people. Be sure to use our discount code The Dungeon Run, capital TDNR, no spaces at checkout. But our show's made possible by Patreon. Go to patreon.com/thedungeonrun for all the incredible bonus content. For just $5 a month, you get access to cool behind-the-scenes content and our after-show short rest, exclusive only to you patrons. Exclusive VODs and updates, free interactivity. We got so much interactivity coming in tonight, and there's so many rewards at all the different levels. A shout-out to a new patron this week. Welcome, Tanya Crossman. Thanks for joining us. And there's so much more fun to be had. Get over to patreon.com/thedungeonrun. Now, Kiki, about interactivity. Yes. We were talking about this before we started, because once we announced that you were going to be subjected to this story tonight, we've got some help coming in from the patrons who I think are worried about you.
I'm worried about me too.
Okay, good. No, we're gonna get through this together. It's beautiful. As you might know, or if you're new here, we are an interactive show where you have the chance to affect our story in unique and surprising ways. You can use our Twitch custom Twitch extension, or the link you can find in the About section of our Twitch page, or you can just go to streamelements.com/thedungeonrun/tip. Now, there are two ways to help or challenge our players when we are playing Call of Cthulhu. You can choose to give bonus or penalty dice for any player or the keeper. It's just like advantage and disadvantage. If you get a bonus die, you roll twice and take the better. If it's a penalty, you roll twice and take the worse. Normally, that's lower or higher, normally. Also, you can gift any player the power of luck. We are giving you the option of adding 10 luck points to any player's stash that they can use to turn a failure into a success. Now, a reminder to you patrons, if you are a high enough level that you get free interactivity every month, you can message us on Patreon and tell us how you would like to cash that in. You can also message me on Discord, or as always, our amazing Angel Devilson, who's in chat right now. If you would like to let her know how you would like to use it, she will then pass that message on to moi. And as a matter of fact, speaking of which, we've got some early interactivity coming in from both Dungeon Speedrun and Tuo Mask, who are giving you 20 luck points to start, Kiki. So mark that on your character sheet. We're going to start you with 20 luck points. And you know what? I'm not going to give you any more than that.
Great.
It is going to be up to these lovely people if they decide you need more luck. You do have some bonus die in your stash that I will allow you to use when you want to use it.
Okay. I love it. Let's do this.
Let's do this. All right, friends. So for tonight, we are running an adventure for Kiki and her character, who you will meet momentarily. An adventure we're calling Alone Against the Tides. Sean, take us into the Forbidden, would you? The moon has been in the news a lot lately. That little bundle of rock that holds so much mystery and inspires the imagination, some of our brightest and darkest ways. never too far away, always present, even when we can't see it. Held there by the pull of the world around us. But even though it might be on the smaller side of the gravity tug of war between the Earth and it has its ways of making its own power known. For instance, the tides obey the moon. They always have. Long before charts were drawn or coastlines named, the sea rose and fell at its silent command, pulled by something distant, cold, utterly indifferent to the world below. We tell ourselves it's scientific, understood, predictable, matter of gravity and motion. But the truth is simpler and perhaps less comforting. The oceans of the world answer to something far beyond them. Every shore, every harbor, every lake, every forgotten stretch of coastline bound to that slow, relentless rhythm. Water drawn away and then returned, again and again. And in those moments when the tide recedes and the waters pull back from the land, it reveals what is hidden, things left behind, things long submerged, things that do not belong to the world of air and light. The moon doesn't choose what it uncovers. It simply calls, and the tides obey. Last time we were together, our familiar quartet of investigators found themselves circling ever deeper down the rabbit hole of deception, murder, and madness in the Scottish Highlands. But tonight, if you'll allow us, we're going to investigate another tale, adjusting our spotlight a little bit, back to a familiar locale across the Atlantic, Massachusetts, that corner of the United States nestled in the stubborn history of New England. More specifically, a small and hospitable town located on a picturesque lakeside, a town known as Esbury. Little more than a collection of well-to-do houses, businesses, and other buildings surrounded by the serene waters of Esbury Lake. We find ourselves just outside this town tonight, as the sun has just started sinking low on the horizon. And where we find ourselves is with a character approaching a ferry. Kiki, would you tell us who we see?
Yes, you see walking up to the ferry, and it feels a little bit of a shiver. And you see this little bit of hair kind of falling over the eye, and there's a little bit of a flip of the hair, and you see this messy bun kind of fly back a little bit. And we see Jackie Lauderbaugh. She's 27. She's a little otherworldly. She knows too much, yet doesn't think she knows anything. And she's not from this place, but she knows something about this place, just from stories. But let me get back to what Jackie looks like. Jackie has that messy brunette bun with hair that just keeps falling over her face, so there's a lot of that. And she's wearing a blazer, a very smart looking blazer. It's not necessarily the average thing that womenkind wore in the 20s, but she did it and she liked it. Also wore some smart pantaloons with a very modest heeled boot and suspenders under that blazer that were just for her. And she was like good looking, but not overly beautiful. She had fair skin, but not overly fair. She had green eyes, but not too green. They almost looked brown, like a hazelish color. And they would catch a glint every once in a while when they were focused in on their subject. Jackie is a private investigator in training, but quite gifted. And they are also gifted with giant ears that are underneath their tendrilled hair. And it allows them to move about because they're not too beautiful, but they can hear things and they can listen in on conversations that nobody knows she's listening to.
This actually brings up a very interesting point because I realized I forgot something when we were adjusting your character skills before we started tonight. You have an additional 70 skill points that you can add to any one or any particular skills that you have on your character sheet. If you want to add 70, all 70 to listen right now for Jackie's big ears,
I'm into
my
it.
guest.
I'm into that. I'm into that 100%.
100%.
Yeah. 100%. I'm into it. Yeah. She can hear very well, but her interpretation is sometimes a little sus.
Love that.
That's that otherworldly quality about her. She had an unusual upbringing, and she doesn't like to let anybody know exactly where she's from, but she's from the West. A little to the north, a little to the west, a little to the northwest. She's exactly medium in almost every way, except that glint, that little glint in her eye when she really catches onto something. So
Amazing.
She's out to see what she's made of.
A figure as mysterious as the person she was sent here to find. Because as a private investigator, even one in training, you've been hired here tonight, and perhaps for as long as it would take, by a figure you'd never met before a couple nights ago. A professor, a former professor of Miskatonic University. Another unassuming but oddly charming and magnetic gentleman by the name of Kenneth Connolly. Dr. Kenneth Connolly. The time that we're talking in this, by the way, is early fall of 1922. About 6 months, maybe, before the current events of our actual campaign as we're going on, as I mentioned in Scotland earlier. But this Dr. Connolly is greatly interested in the whereabouts and studies of another professor, Professor Harris, also retired from Miskatonic University. Harris was known as an archaeologist, and is often prone to characters who spend so much of their time half buried in the dust uncovering things from ancient civilizations. Harris was fairly inscrutable, known to disappear off to God knows where, sometimes at the drop of a hat. And it seems that Harris pulled another one of these disappearing acts when Connolly himself was quite interested in the studies that this Professor Harris was engaging in the Far East, namely India, Pakistan, things of that area. So anyway, this Connolly, a tall, another unassuming gent, but brown hair graying at his temples, intelligent, as I said, when Connolly himself asked you to seek out this Professor Harris and to provide Connolly's own contact to him so that he may speak to him and find out what exactly he's been up to with his studies. And that's about all the information that you have. You know Harris lives on this island, Esbury Island. And so you've come here this evening to find out where exactly this man is and what he's been up to. So you arrive this night, as we said, you're approaching on this autumn night. The sun sinking low in the horizon as you board the ferry headed across the lake to Esbury. As you set foot on the boat, the ferryman greets you with a wide smile and a cheery wave. He stands by the gangplank as you pass, welcoming the other passengers as he removes his cap to scratch at his balding head. His pudgy figure fills his well-worn suit. He looks a little awkward, but he seems a pleasant sort. Leaving the man behind you, you take a seat toward the prow, eyes fixed on your destination. Now, if you were here last time I ran one of these solo adventures for myself, Alone Against the Static, check it out. This adventure tonight is going to act a little bit as a choose your own adventure. So while I am GMing acting as the keeper for Kiki and her character, there are some things in this story that even I don't know are coming. So just want to put that out there, go be above board for our crowd, as it seems like there are, certain decisions or certain things that we'll all be surprised as we find out. But anyway, you settle into a seat with a thin briefcase resting on your lap, noticing that the rest of the passengers are likewise getting comfortable for the short trip across the lake. Glancing around, you catch sight of the ferryman entering the cabin, that same balding, genial gentleman. But as you sit patiently and wait for the engine to come to life, you listen to the sounds of the idle chatter around you. It's a thing about sound and water, isn't it? My dad had a boat on Lake Erie growing up, and it always amazed me the way that voices and sounds traveled so much clearer over water, sometimes sounding like things were right next to you. It would throw you off. It's disorienting at times. And that occurs to you, someone who already hears quite well. It's almost as if you're surrounded by these voices when you're looking, 20, 30 feet away. But you look out across the water and you notice a thin fog beginning to form over the surface as the temperature drops with the approach of night. After a few minutes, you hear the engine sputter into action and feel the ferry lurch forward. The conversations around you continue as the ferryman joins you all on deck. You can tell that most of the people around you seem familiar with this ride, as if they take it weekly, daily, some of them. You can't help overhearing most of the talk. It's surprisingly banal. There are almost a dozen passengers on the ferry. Most of them are simply looking to spend their money during their weekend in Esbury and to enjoy the various shops, leisure activities, antique stores, things of that nature. Many of the passengers seem to come for money, as is common in Esbury. You notice a strange look from one of the women in the group. Full figure, with brown hair and eyes. She seems to be looking you over, admiring your features. But seeming as you are normally, as you are a nondescript or someone who is used to blending in, the fact that you catch this woman eyeing you almost catches you by surprise for a moment.
How close are we in proximity? Is this a small ferry, or is she like across the way?
It's small-ish. The island is not big enough that, like, basically, I imagine maybe like 3 cars length. So we'll say she's maybe 15 feet away.
Okay.
But she's also a member of a small group of people. She clearly sees something in you that she likes. Perhaps it's your look or a glint of intelligence in your eyes. Maybe it's just that mysterious feel that she's never quite seen someone like you here before. She turns back to her companions, but you see a small smile over her lips. Likewise, turning your attention to the rest of the passengers. Sitting apart from the general crowd are 2 men in dark, well-tailored suits, whispering quietly to each other. They have unamused expressions on their faces, as if they don't seem pleased to be here, perhaps they're on business of some sort. But noticing that you're sitting alone, the ferryman approaches you and stands over you with his characteristic smile, the long shadow of him standing over you in the evening sky. You notice he's missing a tooth in the upper left corner of his mouth. His eyes are bright as they light on you. Oh, good afternoon.
It's a little late for afternoon.
I suppose so. You look a bit lonely there, friend. What brings you to town?
Business. And I'm not lonely. No. Are you lonely?
Eyes you. Oh, me? I'm just always looking to make friends.
Why?
I suppose to make the day go faster.
Are you ever successful at making friends?
More successful than today, apparently. Where are you coming in from?
Westward.
Send you all the way out here?
Business. Like I said, business.
Seem a curious type.
As do you. Would you care for some of my dinner?
Oh, no, that's all right.
And Jackie reaches in to their thin briefcase,
Mm-hmm.
pulling out little bits of potato. Care for some?
Sure. Thank you there. Very kind of you. As you eat one, he also tries one.
Little cold, little soggy, but potato.
I had this before from a place in Boston.
Oh,
Is that
yes?
where you coming in from?
Pass through.
Are you here about that Professor Harris?
Perhaps.
Shame what
Do
happened to
you?
him. Shame.
What happened to this Professor Harris?
Oh, I didn't hear.
No.
I mean, I'm sure Officer Powell will let you know all soon enough, but the old man died just a few nights ago.
Natural causes?
It's not my place to pry.
Not natural causes. You would tell me natural causes if it was natural causes.
Officer Powell.
But you didn't
must
say natural causes, so I know it was not natural causes.
I'm just a simple ferryman, ma'am. I will say Officer Powell does keep things pretty tight-lipped.
Except
I'm Lance
for,
Sanford,
of course,
by the
what
way.
you know. I'm sorry, what was that?
Lance Sanford.
Lance Sanford. You don't mind if I write that down one moment? Hold one moment.
All right. Be my guest.
All right, Lance Sanford. Are you from the Massachusetts Sanfords? The long lineage of Massachusetts Sanfords?
Well, I've lived in Esbury for years. Since back before all the rich folk found the place, turned it into their own little vacation spot. My father owned the ferry to and from the town, and he passed it on to me when he got too old to do it himself anymore. I love it here. Can't imagine living anywhere else. I mean, the lake is so clear and clean, I guess that's why we got so many visitors. This place
Yes,
is
it
definitely...
seems you have many.
Oh, grown a lot since I was younger.
Listen, Lance. Who are those two men right there in the black suits? They from around here?
He kind of gets your sense of discretion, and he also kind of like, you can tell he's kind of enjoying himself. So kind of like, funny you should ask. I do not know. Don't recognize them myself. Well, thank you. I will. But
You don't recognize them then?
I do not.
Do you think they have anything to do with the mysterious death of the professor?
Oh, I wouldn't be so presumptuous as to know any of that.
So they do.
No, I truly mean it. I mean,
So they don't.
to be clear, I did not know Professor Harris very well, but seemed like a nice man. Sad to hear about it when he died.
It's always sad when someone dies. Don't you agree?
Officer Powell said it was a suicide.
Okay. And that's final?
That.
You're not investigating it?
That is the story being spread to the winds.
It's quite a rumor to spread around if it's not final. And if it were final, it wouldn't be a rumor, it would be fact.
He is the police. Police have a way of making rumor into fact real quick. I'm inclined to believe what I'm told. Professor Harris did seem happy enough to me. More than content to relax in Esper like anyone else. In between his studies, of course. I mean, he was a studious gentleman, as I'm sure you know. I couldn't understand half of what he would tell me about, but I was quite excited by whatever he was working on.
Rocks, yes?
Rocks?
Didn't he study rocks and
Archaeology.
earth and... That's not what I was told.
You exchange a few more pleasantries with this Sanford fellow, but at a certain point, the lake is not overly large, so he is drawn somewhat back inside the cabin. He goes to finish guiding the boat into port. Now, if you'll excuse me, Miss, I'm not sure I caught your name, but it was a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Thank you for the potatoes.
You're welcome.
You note the tall pines and the sloping hills along the lakeshore around Espery. These features in the small town beyond are just visible through that growing mist over the lake. In time, you arrive on the pier, grateful to be off the water, where things sound a little more normal. You take your first steps onto the pier with the rest of the ferry passengers trying to get your land legs once again. Passengers still chat casually as they walk off to their destinations. You note one last little flirty wink from the full-figured woman as she struts along confidently behind the woman accompanying her. And you feel the two dark-suited men push past you at a brisk pace, nudging you out of their way. Sanford gives you one last wave and a smile as he begins tending to the old rust-stained boat that is his pride and joy. But the last light of the sun's fading fast and the fog is growing thick on the water now. Night is still young, but you'd rather not be wandering around in the dark and fog of a town you're unfamiliar with. Taking in your surroundings, you see a sizable crowd jockeying for entrance into a lavish, modern-looking building along the lakeside. A folding sign sits out front, illuminated by a lantern. The words, "Estate Sale Tonight," are written on it in large, bold letters. While this seems to be the main attraction, you could also seek out somewhere to stay for the night and set about your work in the morning. So you are left with those two choices in front of you. You could visit the estate sale, or you could find somewhere to stay for the night.
Jackie enters the estate sale,
Okay.
willing to take their chances with a place to stay.
And you're still gathering all this information. Certainly this news, this unexpected news of Professor Harris's suicide, before you'd even arrived at the town itself, has to have you in a little bit of a tailspin. But this estate sale, oddly timed though it might be, you were able to gather from Sanford that Harris had only been dead less than a week. But as you enter this throng of people outside this estate sale, you push through the crowd and you make your way in. Judging by the normal number of people packing into this dance hall that it seems to be quite the event. Most of the people here are well dressed, with conspicuous amounts of jewelry and designer clothing on display. You see a broad-shouldered man in a policeman's uniform standing by the door. He has a scarred yet clean-shaven face and a baton at his side. His brow is furrowed in a serious expression, and he watches the commotion through narrow eyes. But as you mingle with the assorted academics and collectors, you notice a few other faces that stand out in the crowd. Most immediately and most obviously, you spot a man in flowing orange robes with dark tawny skin. He sort of seems more than a little out of place and is garnering some odd looks from the other guests. Roll me an intelligence roll. Your intelligence score. Let's start there.
All right. How do I digitally roll?
Roll a D100.
Are we going to do that?
Yeah.
How do I do that on here?
On where?
Well, I mean, I pulled up a die. Sorry, hold on.
There should be a D100.
Yeah, hold on just a second.
Sorry, I'm seeing chats noticing that they're calling potato bread blobs.
Morgan, will you roll for me?
Absolutely. I rolled a flat 90, which you're decently smart. I don't think you're that smart, unfortunately. I have your intelligence score as a 60. So you rolled a 90 over 60.
Okay.
You do have a bonus die if you want to use it. I would advise you to save it for now. This is a pretty low key roll.
Okay. I'm going to save it.
Okay. The oddly dressed man sticks out.
Yeah. I definitely
can tell
think...
from the looks of the crowd around him, you can tell that the others are sort of eyeing him a little conspicuously. Some odd looks from the other guests.
So as I'm scanning the room, of course, I've spotted Officer Powell, and I do see this interesting looking man in these orange robes.
Bald head, shaved clean.
Interesting. I see these two scholars looking at them and whispering. They seem to be laughing. So I just sidle up along beside them, and they're looking at them, and I just join in.
With the crowd?
Strange looking. Yeah.
Great.
He's a strange looking fella, huh?
I mean, I'm not... I think and they sort of... Yes, there's drawing a lot of curious eyes for this, whoever this man is. I hear he's from the East.
From the East?
But this is, certainly seems most interesting social event so far of the season.
Is this an estate sale?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. Professor Harris.
And that constitutes a social event in this town of Esbury?
Well, it's a fairly quiet town when someone offs himself. When something unfortunate happens, particularly with someone as interesting as Professor Harris, well, the looky-loos can't help themselves, I guess.
Huh. So you've never seen this orange man before?
No. Word is he came in on the ferry earlier today.
Oh. Say, how many times does the ferry go back and forth from the mainland?
Oh, it depends. Depends on the demand, but anywhere from 4 times, I think, is normally what Lance averages.
So you haven't, have you seen anybody talk to this orange fellow?
No. I mean, I think everyone's been sort of keeping their distance. Make a listen roll while you're talking with these two.
Okay. I think I'm going to need you to roll. I don't know what's happening. I think you have to roll for me. You have to be my hands.
Find you a digital dice roller, even if you got to download it on your phone, because I'm going to feel weird rolling all these dice for you.
I'm not. I did have it. I don't know what happened to it.
Go to D&D Beyond and use that one.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's a good idea. Like crap. Because I just rolled an 87 after I rolled a 90 earlier.
Okay, thanks, Morgan.
Wait, hey man.
I'm kidding. I'm so kidding.
What do you want me to do, bro?
I'm so kidding, dude.
Wait, did you add all 70 points to listen? Because I would give you a 90 and listen.
I did. I did.
Well, actually, so then you succeed.
Oh, okay, wonderful.
Amazing.
Okay, so I'm
Amazing.
listening, and I'm sort of almost like bat hearing, or is that like sonar?
Echolocation or sonar?
Yeah,
Sure.
echolocation.
Mhm.
So I'm looking at these fellows, and
Mhm.
I've just sort of pushed the hair back a little bit so I can kind of hear the people in back of me, kind of along the side, and I still spot the orange man who isn't speaking to anyone, it doesn't appear, and I'm pretending to listen to these two men.
Because these two men, as you're sort of gathering and looking around, you actually notice these same two men kind of inch away from you and kind of try to continue a private conversation, and you allow them to because you've got good ears.
Okay.
And even as they kind of, sort of just give you a polite nod, they step away and try to continue this hushed conversation that they were having before you walked up. And you hear them say to the others, like, between you and me, I heard that most of these items are fakes, outright hoaxes, counterfeits. I mean, Harris was a nut. Claimed that his findings predate the earliest known records of ancient India, but that's impossible. Completely inconsistent with all the other data. Besides,
I'm sorry.
and the other says, besides, there's a reason he left Miskatonic, if you catch my meaning.
Oh my. And I'm sorry, can you remind me? Sorry, the two men said that, or somebody behind me said that?
The two men that you had walked up to and originally and heard them. These two kind of academic types who were noticing the kind of eyeing the items, which have still been covered. But the other man nods his approval as you sort of hear them more. You aren't wrong. His findings aren't properly supported by evidence, yet he kept trying to publish this hogwash. I imagine that's why they had him resign. Still, at least a few of the items might be authentic. Hopefully this won't be a total waste of time. The first man shifts his stance and lowers his volume slightly again, to where it's just perceptible. Maybe. That monk over there does seem to lend some kind of validity to your claim. If an actual Indian wants them, perhaps there's something valuable here.
If you will excuse me one moment.
Yeah, of course.
It's nice talking to you, though.
You as well.
Well, I didn't catch your names.
Simmons.
Simmons. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Perkins.
Simmons. Perkins. And there's a little bit of a pop out happens.
Oh.
And I'm making almost an internal note.
Simmons and Perkins.
Simmons and Perkins.
So you've begun gathering.
It seems that they don't. I'm making an internal note.
Oh, I love it. Please.
Yes. Okay.
Give me internal dialogue of even though she is alone, Jackie always keeps up a dialogue.
This is a strange party. Never been to one quite like it.
Love it.
And everyone is dressed so strangely. It's almost as though this is a costume party. I don't know if anyone here actually knows the professor. Was he a knowable person? I need to remember to ask what people knew about him, other than that he was a professor. Did he have any pets? Did he have a child? Did he have a favorite beverage?
As you find yourself wondering this, you have your eyes cross the stage and you see standing up near the front a beautiful brunette woman dressed all in black, dabbing at her face with a black kerchief and talking with an elderly accountant-looking gentleman who seems to be keeping a strict ledger as they are standing behind a sheet. There is a table with a sheet on it that seems to be covering some specific objects, and she is discussing with him, but also seemingly. Now, this woman is beautifully made up. Now, what you know about Professor Harris, I would say that this woman, you can clearly tell, would have been a good deal younger than him. She could be his widow. But again, as you said, you know so little. And as you're gathering all of this again, you have some options. You have the officer at the back of the room. You have the man, this monk, in orange robes. You do also notice those two dark-suited men from the ferry off to one side. And you have the stage and the woman. You could also leave and go find where you want to stay for the night. You could just decide you've seen enough here for now, if you like. Those are your options in front of you right now.
Is there any food around here? Is anyone standing next to food?
There is a meager crudité table off to one side.
And are any of those people near the food?
We will say that those two dark-suited men from the ferry are picking at some finger sandwiches, cucumber sandwiches, and we'll say they have those little mini corn on the cobs.
Wait,
and some gherkins.
The baby corn? The
baby corn? Yeah, absolutely. Is that what you call them? I just remember those mini corn on the cob. I mean, they're not corn on the cob because you can eat the whole thing.
Okay.
The gherkins and things of that nature off to one side.
Okay. I walk up to the table, and they're standing in front of the table, and they're quite a bit taller than me, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
But I just reach right through them. Excuse me, gentlemen. I saw there was tiny food on the table here.
They look immediately annoyed by your presence.
Oh, I'm sorry, we haven't met. My name is Jackie, and you are?
Busy.
Busy or Izzy?
Uninterested.
Oh.
And they turn back as if ignoring you in hopes that you will leave. They turn their backs toward you, and as you do, you notice you're an experienced private investigator. You see the jacket of each suit shift oddly, as if it's ill-fitting, or maybe there's something underneath it. Make me a spot hidden roll.
I can't load my dice thing. I don't know what's happening.
Right, Kiki. No, this is unacceptable.
I know. I don't know what happened. I had minimized. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Roll for me. Roll terribly for me.
Okay. All right. Your spot hidden is a 50.
It's also hard to listen to you while I'm trying to re-log into this stupid thing. Sorry. Yeah. I'm like, wait, which email did I use? You guys know how it is. Okay.
You're lucky. I'm rolling better this time. But even if you just go on your phone, there are a million dice roller apps. Kiki.
Yeah. I know.
I love you.
Okay, what did you roll?
I rolled a 21 under 50, which is a success. It's actually a hard success, but it's just a normal success for right now.
A normal success.
As you notice these men shifting in their suits, you're well-traveled enough to know that these two men are concealing handguns at their waists.
Okay.
What they could possibly need them for is beyond you, but their hidden weapons and shady nature make you think any number of things. Before you turn to go, you think you catch a glint of metal from beneath the folds of a young man's coat as well. This young man, I think I missed. As you approach, you find that it's those two men talking to a third younger man who seems quite cocky, got like a pencil-y mustache. You do catch a glint of metal under his coat as well, as if all three of them are armed.
And do they hush when I am near them?
Yeah.
I mean, right now I've already interrupted them, so do they go back to what they're talking about, or are they just staring at me?
They are just staring and waiting for you to leave.
This is a strange party. No? No?
I'm sorry, are you talking to me?
Well, I was, but I see that you don't. Well, that you're not interested in talking to me, so.
Have a good night.
Oh, all right, goodbye. And Jackie, I back away from the table, and then I take 2 steps back and I just grab one more thing and I'm like, pop it into my mouth. And then I'm just on my way. And I'm going to move over toward the monk.
The monk. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Milling amidst this crowd. You're pretty practiced at moving in between groups of people like this. But you approach the strange man. He seems well-traveled and weary, and his long orange robes are a stark contrast to the fine suits and dresses of the New England financial elite. Seems decidedly out of place. As you kind of you step around someone in order to make your way, and as you do, you open your mouth as all ready to speak, and you find him staring straight at you.
The orange man?
Yes.
Okay.
Intensely. Make an anthropology roll. like the women's clothing store.
All right, you're gonna have to do it. I don't have any.
Yeah, you're not really good at anthropology. You're a private investigator. Let's just try it.
Well,
you could always like get a 5 and then have to spend four luck, and then that could always.
I literally did get a 5.
No way. No way. Okay. I can't even read that, but I believe you.
That's crazy.
She doesn't roll for her first fight that she comes out hot.
Oh boy. Okay. So
God, the old ones are smiling upon Kiki Lee. Okay. So you can spend 4 luck if you like in order to succeed. Right now, I will remind you, you only have 20 luck for the whole thing.
At anthropology?
On an anthropology roll.
I think I'd like to succeed at other things maybe later, but maybe not that. That's probably not.
Okay. All right. No, yeah, you're gonna go ahead and choose to fail this roll. That is fine.
I'm gonna fail. Okay.
Okay. All right. You're quite disconcerted by this man in this orange robes. This man who you've heard these others describe him by all accounts seems to be directly from India. But you just staring at you find him staring directly at you. As if he's seen you somewhere.
And I for sure don't recognize him at all.
No.
Okay. I assume, okay, so I'm walking toward him and he's staring at me and I'm staring at him. And we just get closer and closer. And I just put my hand out and I say, could you please stop staring at me? It is so nice to meet you. I've heard so much about you.
Shakes his head with a look of disappointment, and he turns his back on you. Clearly, you sense you've displeased him some way, and he wants nothing more to do with you.
Oh, that's embarrassing. I tap on his shoulder, and I say, "Excuse me, have I offended you in some way? I thought maybe we knew each other. I've heard a lot about you. And I'm so interested." What'd you say?
He looks expectantly towards the stage and is ignoring your words.
Sorry to be bothering you. I must have mistaken you for someone else. Well, that didn't work.
You slink away a little awkwardly from this man in the orange robes. There's the officer at the back of the room. There's the woman on the stage. Is there anything else you would like to do?
Say that again?
I said there's the officer at the back of the stage, or at the back of the room, or the woman on the stage. Is there anything else you would like to do?
Well, now that I feel like my pride and my sort of my ploy to kill him with my kindness and get him to talk to me didn't work, I would like to turn my attention to the stage because I'm not reading the room as easily as I would like to. It's usually quite easy for me to move about parties, but this is a strange mix of people. And
you get the sense
nobody seems very friendly.
No. You get the sense the action on the stage, whatever it may be, is near starting, but you probably have another moment or two if you would like to approach the woman on the stage. Or you can simply choose to hang back and wait to see what happens when the show begins.
I think I'm going to sort of sidle up near the officer.
Okay.
But I'm going to wait for them to ask me something. I can see that they're staring at the woman quite intently on the stage. So I am interested in getting a closer look to see what he's staring at the woman.
The officer's eyes are actually, again, you're correct. He has a commanding presence, a clean-shaven but a scarred face. And his eyes are boring into the room intensely. And you do feel them shift onto you and then back to the stage. But as he sort of feels you getting closer, maybe out of the corner of his eye, clears its throat. Really hope there isn't going to be any kind of a problem, citizen.
Oh, excuse me, with me?
Are you?
Were you? I guess I could. Yes, I think yes. I've heard of this place, but I don't know much about it. And actually, do you know a good place to stay for the night? I'm just visiting a friend. You seem like someone who might know places, know things, know people.
His fingers are kind of tapping on the end of his baton, which is stuck into his belt.
Oh.
Make a psychology roll.
I can't.
You were just rolling.
I know. Hold on a second. Psychology, you say?
Psychology is a 50.
Let's see.
You're an experienced reader of people.
67.
67. So that's a failure.
It's doing really well. By the way, I just want to, sorry to interrupt. Are you guys getting feedback from my...
No.
Okay, good. I'm hearing so much feedback, and so that's why I'm like having a hard time right now. Anyway, continue. Sorry about that. Okay.
The officer seems rather alert and vigilant. You're really getting a vibe of, even as you're trying to ask him about a place to stay for the night, he does seem very intent on doing his job, and he is aware of his very intimidating presence. But he doesn't seem to want to interact with you, but he'll sigh and direct you down the road to the nearest inn. The only good one in town. Can't miss it.
Thank you. Who is that woman speaking to that gentleman up on the stage there?
In the widow?
Oh. Widow.
That would be the former Mrs. Harris.
Oh, she's quite beautiful. No? Wouldn't you say?
Not my business.
Oh. Well, you all are very friendly here, and thank you for your hospitality. I just traveling through, visiting someone, and I'll be on my way. And
the murmuring of the crowd does start to die down, and people begin to gather around the stage as you're saying this, standing near the back of the room.
Mm-hmm.
As the woman steps forward and the older gentlemen call everyone to attention. The widow in black strides confidently to the front of the stage where the lights are centered. She flashes a broad smile at the crowd and begins to speak. Her makeup is done impeccably. Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad you could all make it tonight. As you all know, my husband recently passed, and, well... and she begins to tear up, theatrically. So much so that her makeup begins to smear. She produces that same handkerchief to dry her eyes before continuing. Well, I'm very upset. I miss my poor William very much. And I don't know what I'll do without him. And that's why I brought you all here tonight. I hope you can find some use for his collection. And I know that he would be happy to see his things go to those who value them highly. I hope you'll show this poor widow a kindness by finding something you like. But now let us begin. I'll leave the auctioning to Mr. Warren. This older man steps forward. Thank you, Amelia. She moves stage left and allows this bespectacled old man, presumably Mr. Warren, you hear him call her Amelia. Tonight, we have 6 very ancient and very valuable items for sale from the estate of Professor William Harris. Though exceedingly strange, I have deemed these items to be authentic to the best of my ability. I've placed a ballot box, slips of paper, and a pencil on each of the 6 tables next to the item for sale. If you wish to bid on an item, simply write your name and the amount you are willing to pay for it on a slip, then place it in the box. The item will be sold to the highest bidder. All of the proceeds will go to the wife of the deceased. With that, Mr. Warren moves to reveal the gathered items. Mr. Warren approaches the first table and removes the cloth covering to reveal an odd pair of clay cylinders covered with strange etchings. They're small and seem quite fragile, large cracks running down both their sides. He proceeds to the next table and likewise uncovers the item in question. This one is significantly larger and more ornate. It appears to be some sort of altar or reliquary, heavily decorated with yellow-green gemstones. However, there is one similarity with the first item: the presence of the same strange written characters, though these ones seem to have been painted on. The old scholar turns to the next item in question and displays it for all to see: a decorated crown of solid bronze, wrought with the image of a Hindu god. And the next item is certainly the most mundane: a large, thick, leather-bound journal that appears well-worn and beaten, with several loose papers jammed between its pages. Mr. Warren senses the confusion of some members of the crowd and clarifies that the notebook is the assembled personal works and studies of Professor Harris. The item that follows the journal is a well-preserved ceremonial robe of a Brahmin priest. The cloth is pure white. And the last item is perhaps the strangest of all: a small statue, or idol, presumably of one of the many deities of ancient India, made from a blue-green stone in the shape of a rather grotesque, lizard-like creature. The craftsmanship is crude and gaudy, so much so that it appears fake. People begin moving among the items, looking them over and conversing quietly. Now, can you roll an appraisal roll?
An appraisal roll. What do I
Your
have?
appraisal as a 40.
40.
Basically, your
Ooh.
ability to tell the value or authenticity of certain items.
86.
86. We're rolling so well tonight so far.
I am a trainee.
That is a failure, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You glance over the items, but you do not have an eye for antiquities. As near as you can tell, everything is as it appears to be, and as Mr. Warren claims.
I thought there would be more rocks.
Still, as you look over the notebook, you notice it contains personal accounts as well as academic findings. It will likely be a good source of information regarding Professor Harris.
The journal, you said?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
You notice that you're not the only one looking over the items with such interest. The monk appears to be closely scrutinizing the stranger items as well, and the dark-suited gentleman from earlier seemed to have taken a liking to the curious idol. Apart from this, various other guests wander around the tables, occasionally fixing on one in particular. There are many guests and a fair number of bids being placed. If you'd like to bid on any of the items, now is the time.
Oh, go ahead.
No? Yeah.
Wait, were you speaking? Okay, you were telling me. Okay. I would like to bid. I would like to bid on the idol that the two gentlemen have their eye on.
Okay. Something draws you to this curious idol of this strange lizard creature. You feel compelled to make a bid. You notice you're not alone in this, as the monk and one of those dark-suited men both place bids of their own into the box. You hope that yours is high enough. Now, for this roll, this is fun. You don't get to do this often.
Okay.
You can make another appraisal roll. Actually, yes, make an appraisal roll, because I think the other would be a credit rating roll. But as a private investigator, your credit rating I don't think is as high as your appraisal. You do have a bonus die for this, to use if you like.
No, I have a strategy, so I'd like to not use the bonus die.
Okay.
You said for appraisal.
Appraisal.
Is that what you said?
You're trying to beat you're trying to roll under a 40.
116.
Wait, that's no. You're rolling a D100.
Oh, sorry. I left it on that. What did you tell me to roll? Sorry, what did you tell me to roll?
Roll a D100 and try to roll under 40.
Oh, sorry.
I was like 116 is literally impossible.
Well, I thought it was like plus 40 because of appraisal.
No.
72. I also didn't do well.
Okay. Boy. I'm dice
Don't judge, Morgan. Don't judge.
No, I'm not judging. Those dice are telling a story tonight. That's all. It's interesting. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'll give something away. You would have had to roll very well for this particular item.
By the way, are we doing this one at a time, or would I be able to drop? I feel like I have then scribbled numbers down.
Yes, you will be able to bid on other items. Don't worry.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yes, this does not end the bidding. Don't worry.
Okay.
But we will kind of jump back and forth right now, because though you put a sizable bid on the idol, a truly outrageous sum is called. Easily twice what you offered. Mr. Warren squints hard at the paper before calling out the staggering price and an unfamiliar sounding name. Banyu? Confused whispers break out as the orange-robed monk collects the statue with a look of excitement on his face. But now you have a chance to bid on the other items. Journal,
I'm going to...
robe, the crown, the altar, or the cylinders. Keep going, sorry.
I'm going to bid on the robe.
The robe, okay.
Mm-hmm.
This ceremonial robe catches your eye. You sign your name on a paper with a realistic price, and you put your submission in with the rest. You wait as he goes down to the robe. Roll me another appraisal roll.
2.
That's an extreme success.
I know. Darn it. I mean, keep going.
Finally. The bird's robe is yours. Mr. Warren spends more than a few minutes for the offers, but ultimately it was your name he calls. You claim your prize and you fold it away into your briefcase for safekeeping.
And do I notice anybody is watching me with the robe or interested in the robe? Were there a lot of bids for the robe?
Not as many as some others, but yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, the robe is now yours.
Okay.
Is there anything else you would like to bid on?
It's that journal.
That journal.
I go for that journal.
Absolutely. Okay. You feel that the information in the journal is essential to your interests and essential to the interests of your client. You cannot help but make a bid. You place your payment with the others and hope that Mr. Warren calls your name when the amounts are compared. Make another appraise or credit rating roll.
Okay, I just rolled again because I said what I had rolled, and I'm gonna roll again.
I didn't hear you.
Oh, good. Well, okay. Well, then I should say it. 66.
66 over 40. You have a bonus if you'd like to use it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so re-roll.
Okay. 33.
33 under 40. That's a success.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Good use of the bonus die. That bonus die, I believe, was from Dungeon Speedrun, I think. Let me make sure. Yes, it was Dungeon Speedrun.
Thanks, Dungeon Speedrun.
There you go. You appraised the heck out of that thing. Dungeon Speedrun.
Thanks.
Fantastic. Okay. All right. You.
Okay. So
You feel that the knowledge in these pages could very well prove essential to you, so you offer a price that is more than fair. Sure enough, Mr. Warren calls your name and presses the leather-bound tome into your eager hands.
I take it and I kind of back away from the table. Is the bidding over for the other ones, or are we going to keep going? Should we assume that the bidding is?
Yes, at this point, I would say you've bid on 3 items. You've chosen and yes, it does seem that things are starting to wrap up, and people have already started making their way towards the exits.
Okay, so I'm gonna walk toward the exit, and there's a little table right there that I notice, and so I set the journal down right there, and then I decide to root around in my briefcase with my back slightly turned just to see who might be eyeing this journal as they're leaving.
Sure. You see the crowd staring covetously at some of the newly acquired items. Most of them are eyeing that crown and that altar with the yellow-green gems on it, which seem to be the most expensive looking. However, you've gotten the robe and the journal, probably 2 of the most humble looking items, at least just in terms of overall rich stuff. You do notice a couple things. You do notice, first of all, Amelia, the widow, looking smug and satisfied with a leather bag full of cash.
Okay.
As Officer Powell is directing people out of the building, you do notice Banyu, the man in the yellow robes, looking towards the robe that you've tucked into your briefcase.
Okay.
But as far as the journal, at least right now, you don't seem to notice anything additional, any additional attention you've garnered. You could very much tell that those men in the dark suits, that those men in the dark suits did seem quite interested in that idol.
In the idol, the other another
that you had bet on, yes.
Yeah. Are you okay?
Yeah, I see your note, Sean, about my sound. I'm just trying to see if there's any issues. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Okay.
I'm curious. Do I know who else bid on the journal?
I mean, it's hard to keep track.
Okay, so there were that many people there. Gotcha.
Yes, yeah,
okay.
it's hard to keep track. It does seem, but I will say that it wasn't nearly as much that the amount that you bid on it doesn't seem nearly as much as expensive as the idol went for instance.
Gotcha. Okay.
Though you seem some of the people seem content to stay and socialize. You've had a long day. You feel that it would best to bed down and go find your lodging for the evening. And the fog you notice outside, that same fog that you noticed on the ferry, does seem to be growing ever thicker as the night has fallen over to Esbury. Following Officer Powell's rather terse directions that he gave you earlier, you step a few blocks into town to a modestly priced hotel a few buildings down from Esbury's police station. You're greeted in the cool night air into a lobby with a roaring. The small front room feels stuffy and cramped. The bulk of the space is dominated by the large service counter, behind which sits a wiry-looking wisp of a woman. She turns her wide eyes to you and asks your name, then quotes you a price that's more than fair. With the transaction complete, you haul your thin briefcase up the stairs, unpack it, and settle into your room for the night. Is there anything you do before you go to sleep?
Yes, I take out the robe and I try it on. It's a robe.
You no doubt feel a little. It's beautifully made of white linen. Of a material of an exact. I call it linen. Actually, it's a linen style, but it's not of a pattern of a style of weave or that you're familiar with. And you do get the sense that this, even though you're not an archaeologist, you do get the sense that this could perhaps be of authentic Far Indian make.
Yes, and I instantly have a skin reaction, and and I take the robe off very gently because I paid for it. It's expensive.
Yes.
I take it off and I put it, I fold it and I place it inside of a bag because I don't want any of the, whatever I'm allergic to. It could be dust, it could be the fabric, but it's really disagreeing with me. And then I just set it aside and I open the window to let some of the fresh air in because there are particles. There seem to be particles floating in the air from this robe. And
as you
it's
open
really
this
difficult
window,
to breathe.
As you open this window, you're once again reminded of this calm, cool lake that you can see from your upstairs window. But that fog does seem to have started to cover the entire town. This nighttime fog settling over the town like a blanket. And even as you sit there in the open window and look out, you can even from here hear, you can't quite make out what anyone's saying, but you can hear quite a lot, whether it's a bell or the sounds of drunken revelry from one of the taverns down the street. It's spooky. There's no other word for it. And after you feel like the air is cleared, you close the window again and perhaps gratefully give yourself some peace before you lay down to sleep.
I think I keep hearing some type of a sound. It's a bit of a knocking sound that I can't quite tell.
A rhythmic sound like
a cat meow.
Like a cat meowing.
Like a rhythmic sound, like a thump, 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 thump. Thump, 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 thump. And I just doze quietly to this rhythmic sound that I can't quite place where it's coming from.
Almost like the sound of a rope or a buoy, of a bumper on a boat knocking against the side.
Yeah.
But you wake in the morning after this strange, fitful, but mostly peaceful sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And you rise from your bed in the morning. You take in the modest surroundings that make up your room. Sparse furnishings. Quit it. A small, poor quality dresser and a cramped and dusty writing desk that you've cleared out at this point, tucked in the corner. But your eyes go to that same desk because as you wake up, sitting atop the desk is a plate of eggs and toast.
In
Fresh.
my room?
Mm-hmm.
Creepy. Okay.
Apparently set out for you by the hotel's owner.
Okay.
The walls are plain and unadorned, save for a single window that faces toward the lake. However, as you look out towards that same window that you opened the night before, the view of anything beyond the window is blocked by now an incredibly thick fog, which is even on a pale green hue. Not a sight that you're used to. You've seen fog plenty, but just a pale,
like this
pistachio-colored fog out the window.
Huh.
Obscuring your vision entirely. But if you see that plate on the desk and it does give you a moment of pause and you look around and all of your items do seem to be exactly where they were. Any fear or unease you could still feel at the moment is like nothing was taken.
Mm-hmm.
But you get dressed and you eat the modest breakfast set out for you. You're ready to begin your day. You take a moment to consider what that means. Your mind turns to Professor Harris. If you're so inclined, you might be able to investigate the circumstances of his death further. Considering that you don't have his widow Amelia's address, you'd have to start your search with the official report filed with Officer Powell at the police station. Alternatively, you could take this free time to look through your belongings and examine any of those items you might have, perhaps that journal. The hotel owner has been in your room, so a check of your things might be in order. Or perhaps you have some other reasons to look over your possessions. Finally, if you feel that your business in Esbury is concluded, you could always try to find Lance Sanford at the ferry. What would you like to do?
I'd like to examine the journal.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. So I go and I look at the journal and I consider this journal. It's quite heavy. Mm-hmm. It's very smooth. Still kind of distressed, sort of crinkly, a little bit rough in some places, dried out from age and wear and usage. And
I will first say that looking over your own items, your fears are assuaged. That everything is exactly
everything
where
is there.
Yes.
Okay, I imagined so. I unwrap the binding, mm-hmm. and I open it up, and on the front page, it says another name that I cannot quite read, but it's not the professor's name. You know, like in the beginning of a lot of books where it says like this belongs to so and so, and it sort of looks like it says Jasper Cummings. And I don't know who that is.
But your attention is drawn in even further as it starts with a mystery of its own. And as you flip another page, perhaps looking for an answer as to this name, you find yourself becoming deeply engrossed. And before you know it, the next couple hours have gone by in studying this because there's so much information in here. Mm-hmm. Professor Harris, you find descriptions of several trips to India, starting about 12 years ago. During these visits, he went to multiple sites to make observations and recover artifacts, as was common of the time. We might look at it now as cultural thievery, even perhaps archaeology of things that going to and coming back to the West with these items. But as was the practice of the time, he would go and search and excavate and perhaps bring back some of these items with him. His longest and most profitable trip appears to have been 10 years ago during an excursion to Sarnath, India, where he writes about recovering, quote unquote, several items from an active Buddhist shrine. You get the sense that he calls it a Buddhist shrine, but you sense as if perhaps as if he doesn't know for sure.
Oh.
Apparently, Professor Harris had some regrets about this theft, but he couldn't resist taking the artifacts for his personal collection. The descriptions of the items he came across in Sarnath match some of the items as the estate sale last night. The clay cylinders, the gemstone-encrusted altar, and the lizard-like idol are all described in detail in the entries related to his trip to Sarnath. These same items then appear throughout the rest of his journal. He'd clearly been studying them over the past decade and developed something of a fixation with them. It was the idol that initially caught Harris's eye, and according to him, the depiction of the great and grotesque water lizard matched no description of any known Hindu deity. Hoping to find clues to the idol's identity, Harris set about trying to translate the mysterious script on the cylinders and the altar. In doing so, he met with significant difficulty, as the text was only barely recognizable as an archaic dialect of a pre-Sanskrit language. Ancient. The process was slow and painstaking until about a year ago. And at this time, the journal changes slightly, as Professor Harris starts writing of having strange and enlightening dreams. He reports walking in the ancient world from whence these items originated. A grand city of marble walls and onyx streets, of bronze gates and marvelous palaces and gardens. He writes of visiting the 17 tower temples of this ancient city and meeting the bearded gods who dwelled there, sat upon their ivory thrones. Harris calls this strange place Sarnath, despite the sheer impossibility of this. He claims that among the temples he learned the secrets of the ancient writings. His next entry goes on to describe the odd clay cylinders as the brick cylinders of Kadatheron, though he hadn't yet identified the other objects. And then you notice the next few pages have been torn from the journal. Several pages later, the entries resume with more mundane matters, though there are still references to the artifacts from time to time. The most recent entries in the journal speak of Harris's daily studies and living with his wife, Amelia. It's clear that he cared about her deeply from the way he writes about her, but he laments that his studies keep him from spending the time with her that he would like. Instead, he lavished her with gifts and money, which she all was too happy to accept. He notes that Amelia had never been happier despite the distance between them. The last entry to catch your eye is dated a little over a week ago. Apparently, the pages torn from his journal went missing only recently. Professor Harris expresses deep concern at this, as there were no signs of forced entry to his study, and only he and Amelia had access to it, though he was sure he hadn't removed them from the journal himself. You finish your reading by glossing over the last week of the professor's life, which is rather uneventful and peaceful, beyond his continued obsession with the artifacts and his occasional worries about Amelia. Odd, given that a man that you know. Do these seem like the writings of a man who took his own life?
Mm-mm.
If you would like to investigate, the robe or anything further here in the house, but you feel you've fully gone through the journal.
I feel that I have finished reading the journal, and I would like to know where these missing pages are. It is really unsettling to see how content he seemed.
Yes.
Before he passed away. And in my studies as a private investigator back home, it's usually wise to start with the spouse. So I bind the journal back up, and I'm just about to leave it under the bed when I think better of it, and I put it in my suitcase, and I go ahead and grab this robe that I seem to have an allergic reaction to, and I put it into my briefcase, and yeah, I leave.
As we said, you don't really have the address of the Harris's home.
No, but I'd like to go down by the ferry dock and ask Lance if he might know where Mrs. Harris lives.
Certainly. Okay.
So I make my way through that thick green fog and stumble into a couple of people. I don't know how they're able to get around in this.
As you step out into the street, as you say, this strange green coloration of the fog is incredibly thick. You wonder if it's even safe to be out on the water with visibility so limited. But you head to the docks first to see if the ferry's still running before hauling all of your possessions down to the lakeshore. You venture out into this cloying green mist and walk briskly toward the docks. You arrive to find Lance Sanford pacing the deck of his boat with a small flask in his hand. For all of his pleasant demeanor yesterday, he seems quite stressed, lost in thought. Before you rouse him about inquiring about I assume you say something.
Yes. Lance, Oh, are you okay?
Sorry, I can't take you out of town like this.
What do you mean, like what?
I can barely see 3 feet in front of me.
Oh.
Lake's tame, but I'd have no way of telling where the shore is or if any of the other boats might be out on the water.
I thought perhaps you couldn't take me because you seem to be quite sauced.
I can hold my liquor, don't you worry.
Ah.
I like you, but it's too dangerous.
I appreciate that. Have you, when was the last ferry trip that you made across the way?
Last night.
At what time?
I think it was the one you arrived on. I didn't do another. There wasn't call for it.
Okay. So now I know that the monk is still on the island. Everybody is still there.
Yes.
And Lance, this is the only way. I'm sorry?
well deduced, Jackie.
There's no other way on or off this island. Is that correct?
I do believe so, unless someone had a boat on their own.
Do many people around? Pardon?
No other public way. Unless you're a pretty good swimmer.
Yes. Say, do you happen to know where the old professor's house is?
No, I guess I don't rightly do.
Surely this is such a small island.
I know he's over there, but amongst the nicer houses, but I'm afraid I don't.
All right. Okay, well, thank you for your help.
That Officer Powell, pleasant though he is, I'm sure knows, given the unfortunate events.
Oh yes, I spoke with him last night. He just
nice fella, isn't he?
Yes.
Takes another drink of his flask.
Very nice, very friendly, very helpful, welcoming. I'll come see you soon. Maybe I'll bring you some lunch.
I'm not going anywhere.
Around. Great. You take care. And I start walking up toward the fancy houses, as he says.
Sure.
And I feel I'm gonna have just a look around myself.
Sure.
just to see if I can see anyone moving furniture or anything that looks like.
Roll a roll a spot hidden, or which I have your spot hidden roll as a 50.
Oh, okay. So D100.
Yes.
I rolled a 57.
Okay.
Oh, where'd you go?
Right here.
Oh.
The 57. 57 over 50. You can spend 7 luck if you want to, but...
No.
Okay.
Yes. I'm going to.
Okay.
I'm going to.
Okay. With the 57, you're spending some time, and with a thick fog being what it is, it's difficult. As you're kind of investigating and looking around. But sure enough, as you're finding yourself, rather than dealing with a policeman and all of that, you find yourself looking around and looking into each house, trying not to feel too much like a peeping Tom. Peeping Tammy? I don't know.
Peeping Jackie, yes.
Peeping Jackie. But you do, and then with a stroke of luck, you do find this building, and you see through the glimpse a familiar dark dressed form through one of the windows. And as you approach, because you're fairly certain you recognize Amelia as some of the fog just parts as if magically. For just a moment, as if just a little bit of luck is with you. That luck from Dungeon Speedrun and 2.0 Mask. Thank you, guys. But as you're standing there, a man steps out of the fog, blocking your path very directly. You recognize this man. It's the younger man, the third that was standing with those two dark-dressed men at the estate sale. With that young and thin, with angular features and that kind of cocky stance and a faint hit of that mustache atop his lip. He's also dressed in a dark suit this morning and stares at you from beneath a flat cap. You're an unwelcome surprise. I don't know what you're looking for, but you won't find it here.
Oh, I was just taking a look around the neighborhood. I was thinking of maybe moving here, and I heard this neighborhood was nice.
Why don't you leave that poor widow alone, you creep?
Excuse me?
You heard what I said? You want to bother her, you're going to have to go through old Joshua here, you capiche?
And you're Joshua?
Yeah. And his hand brushes, and you get the sense you get the sense of this young, almost foolish, wannabe tough. And his hand brushes beneath his coat as if he's searching for something. But then he stops himself. It's very strange. Because he at one moment he's trying to step to you for all intents and purposes. But then he stops. Pauses for a moment. And walks off. Spitting on the ground at your feet and turning away. And walking off into the fog. You could call out to him, or you could just keep going to the house. Or you could heed his warning and go back to the hotel.
I'm going to keep going to the house. I take a look around to see if there was anybody who saw this exchange. And I decide to take my chances with the widow.
Despite the urgings of this Joshua character, you take your chances with the widow. You approach the front of the house and you note your surroundings. The house's exterior hints at the wealth of its occupants, but then again, so do most places in this town. Directly across from the residence is a small church whose religious iconography seemed to have inspired the Harrises in the design of their own home. A bronze cross hangs over the front door, and decorative columns line the outside walls of the two-story house. All in all, the architectural style somewhat Baroque, complete with a pair of carved angels lounging beneath the eaves that are just visible through the strange haze. You knock on the door, and you wait in the mist for a few moments, hoping for someone to hear you. Eventually, the widow Amelia answers the door. This time, she's wearing a bright red dress, which accents her deep crimson lipstick. She appears to have taken great care over her appearance, flashing you a smile and inviting you inside. Well, I believe I recognize you from last night.
Oh, yes. I was quite interested in some of those artifacts.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, you seem to be in better spirits today. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you so much. She lets you inside, and a house opens into a large foyer, and you see various crates and bundles stacked high along the walls. Mind the mess. The porter hasn't come for it yet, just selling off a few of the more common things. She takes you by the hand to lead you past the stacks of items, helping you pick your way through the deceased Professor Harris's assembled possessions. Takes you into a small drawing room full of antique furniture and offers you some coffee. Yes, poor William. And she sighs theatrically and looks down at her hands, being surrounded by all these reminders. I found him in his study, with the gun still in his hand. What more do you want to know?
Well, first of all,
make a psychology roll before you ask.
Okay, a psychology roll. What do I have? 50?
Yes.
Is that what that? Okay. D100, yeah.
Yes.
14 is what I rolled.
Hey, very good.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
You don't know why you hadn't realized it before as you sit here looking at this well-dressed woman amidst the house where she seems to be selling off most of her possessions, or a lot of them anyway. Selling all of his things, adopting such a flirty demeanor, dismissing questions about her husband's death. Amelia doesn't seem too broken up about her husband's passing. She's hiding something. You'd bet your career on it. You suspect one way or another she's involved in Professor Harris's death. You open your mouth, prepared to call her bluff and press her for more information. So you have this moment of awkwardness. But at that moment, there is a loud knock at the door. Amelia jumps up, startled, stands there for a moment in confusion as the pounding on the door resumes. Police, open the door! Amelia's face drains white as she goes to answer the knock. Your gut tells you something's wrong here, obviously. You feel uneasy about the officer at the door. You just having this discovery, this epiphany about the widow. And now that Officer Powell is just outside. You tell yourself you might be being irrational and on edge, but you have some trouble fighting that feeling. You have a few moments right now to react. You could wait and sit exactly where you are, see what there is to see. Or for some reason, if you don't want to be caught here, you could try to make a stealth roll, trying to hide.
I want to make a stealth roll.
Your stealth is a 20. It's not great. I'm just going to tell you.
Even better. Even better.
Okay. Okay.
It's still D100, yeah, because it's called Cthulhu. Okay.
Yep.
39.
39 isn't bad, but it's a failure.
So I panic.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I can't quite tell if the officer is there for me or for her, but she seems quite nervous, and I've lost track of her. I don't know where she went, so I dart behind a crate, but I knock it over, and
You don't
and then
know.
I lie flat, trying to hide just amongst the crate that has fallen on the ground.
As you start to like take this odd position, you're not even sure how you're supposed to be hiding. Officer Powell bursts into the room.
Mm-hmm.
Freeze, police! You glance over your shoulder and you see his revolver leveled at you. You're under arrest for trespassing. Come in with me, now. He has you dead in his sights. Talking would do you little good, as he's already caught you trying to flee the scene, or laying across the floor. But you should probably do what he says. On the other hand, you could try to run. Staring down the barrel of a gun, the odds don't look good, but maybe you like your chances better with the gun than the prison cell.
I feigned a back injury. So I'm down and hello, officer. I hear you. I see you. I would like to come with you, but unfortunately, I think I've pulled something in my back, so I might.
He will lift you up off the ground. You'll have plenty of chance to rest it off. And you're escorted out of the house at gunpoint into the sickly green fog. And you notice Amelia does nothing, says nothing. She simply stares at you as you go. On the street just outside, as Officer Powell hauls you down the front stairs of this house, you spot Joshua, grinning widely.
Oh.
His eyes meet yours and his smile just gets a bit wider. He put Powell up to this. It's not even trying to hide it. It still doesn't explain why, but at least you know for a certainty that Josh was not friendly to you and that he has Powell in his pocket. You mull this over as your feigned back injury, as you're marched through the misty streets and taken to the police station. You're ushered into the dim and dingy room and shoved into a closet-sized cell on the far wall. Officer Powell turns the key in the lock, sealing you in the cell. Now nearby, it's not a particularly large police station. He settles into his seat and pays you no further mind as he begins puffing on a cigar. He seems to have no intention of letting you go anytime soon. And that's, I think, where we're going to take a quick intermission.
Okay.
With Jackie Lauderbaugh in a prison cell in Esbury.
Officer Powell.
As the mystery thickens like a fog outside. We'll be right back, friends.
You fools! You'll never defeat me. Now face the wrath.
Why is he so hot? What?
I think it's just that epic miniature. It's really doing a lot for me, too.
Yeah, maybe. But he's also kinda...
Silence! As I was saying, face the wrath of my metal army, crafted here in my Eldritch Foundry.
Dude, where'd you get all these minis?
I'm subscribed to Eldritch Foundry's Eldritch Unlimited with unlimited STL downloads. Now, can we get back to...
Eldritch Foundry's amazing! I never thought I'd have the perfect mini for my Demon-born, half-elemental, catfolk, warlock, bard multi-class with a bunny wizard familiar, but here she is. Thank you so much for printing her.
Yeah. Sure, Jen. No problem. Now face my wrath! You fools! You'll never defeat me. Now face the wrath.
Why is he so hot?
What?
I think it's just that epic miniature. It's really doing a lot for me, too.
Yeah, maybe. But he's also kinda...
Silence! As I was saying, face the wrath of my metal army, crafted here in my eldritch foundry.
Dude, where'd you get all these minis?
I'm subscribed to Eldritch Foundry's Eldritch Unlimited with unlimited STL downloads. Now can we get back to...
Eldritch Foundry's amazing! I never thought I'd have the perfect mini for my demon-born, half-elemental, catfolk, warlock, bard multiclass with a bunny wizard familiar, but here she is. Thank you so much for printing her.
Yeah, sure, Jen. No problem. Now face my wrath!
And we're back. Oh, look at that, Sean. Look at that impressive business that Mr. Sean Becker's been up to. He was asking for labels and everything like that, and let me tell you, it's always impressive. Anyway, thanks, buddy.
Thanks. Never stops working. Never stops working.
Never stops improving. Look at that. Look at, isn't that nice? Got a nice little label. It's so pretty.
Cute.
Constantly improving ourselves around here. We are. Anyway, we find ourselves back with Jailbird Jackie, as the chat has already called her.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
As she finds herself in a jail cell, still feigning a back injury. Maybe, I don't know. It wasn't working for her so far.
I think I let it go. It did. Yeah, he didn't care, and I'm like, oh.
You gave up the act.
It was what is it? When you become a better person in jail.
A rehabilitation.
A rehabilitation. They rehabilitated me, but like PT style.
You've been rehabilitated in the 10 minutes you've spent in this jail cell. You're like, wow, I'm a changed woman.
My back, it's a miracle.
Wow. You should let me go.
Yeah.
I have learned my lesson, sir.
Exactly.
But this Officer Powell, as I said, it's not even a very large jail cell, as he's puffing on his cigar, settled into his seat, doing his best to pay you no further mind. But as I said, he has arrested you for trespassing, seemingly reported by this young, wiry, cocky fellow named Joshua, who seemed to be taking it upon himself to protect the widow's house. But as we discovered shortly before you were hauled out of her house, you're fairly certain at this point that Amelia did have something to do with the supposed suicide, ? Of Professor Harris. As the suspicions that you had already reading his journal, these were not the writings of a man who was on the edge of taking his own life, mere days away. But anyway, for the immediate time, you find yourself in this jail cell, and you've got some options. You can wait the night if you want. You can attempt an escape. You are a private investigator. You do have a locksmith talent. Or Powell is sitting right there. He is a small town policeman, acts tough, but you think that maybe you could attempt to convince him to let you go one way or another. Now, for the rules of this, you could attempt a fast talk roll, a locksmith roll, or you could wait the night. These are talents, by the way. As a private investigator, you're okay at both of those things, so it's up to you.
Yeah, but my stealth is crap.
It's not stealth, it's locksmith and fast talk.
No, I know, but if I were to get out
if you were to
using
escape,
my locksmith,
your stealth is bad.
My stealth isn't really great.
It's true.
Okay, I guess fast talking.
Sure. Okay. You have a fast talk skill. What's your fast talk score? It's pretty good, isn't it?
Oh. Let's take a look, you all.
70.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Fast talk this fellow.
Fast talk.
Okay, give me a fast talk roll.
Oh,
roll
boy.
100 and try to roll under a 70.
21.
21. That is a hard success.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're just jumping to... You turn your attention to Officer Powell as you watch him sort of, doing his best to be oblivious, puffing on this cigar. And you find yourself building a story, pleading with him to release you. And eventually you mention that you'll leave town if he lets you go. And over over a course of time, that seems to seal the deal. Maybe does Jackie have a talent for, is it annoyance? Is it just seemed harmlessness? I mean, you said Jackie's talent almost is that she is hard to notice sometimes.
Yeah, I think that my talent probably in speaking with him is that I bore him to death.
Yes. I'm picturing, even though it's ironic because it's a fast talk roll, I'm picturing you just Okay, well, I guess I'll just... I mean, it's like...
Yeah.
You talk about where you got the potatoes.
Yeah. Hey, Officer Powell.
Yeah.
So, one time when I was younger, I was riding my bike and I was riding down the road, and my mom, she warned me, she warned me about going over the railroad tracks. There were these railroad tracks, and if you're on a bicycle, you really shouldn't turn the wheel that way. But of course I did, because I needed to strike out on my own. I mean, you get that, right? You have to learn for yourself. It's a tough life out there. So anyway, I went over the tracks, and I really blew it, and I chipped my tooth. And
Did you say you were going to leave town if I let you go?
Yes, I will leave town.
My life easier, would you? Get the hell out of here before I change my mind. And this is, we'll say, after like an hour or two of this.
just droning on and on about my childhood. There's tears, there's laughter, maniacal laughter.
You're
there's
delivering
just
like
contemplation, heavy contemplation. There's questioning. There's
like
existentialism.
This is a very dated reference, but it's like a Spalding Gray one-man show. like the worst 1980s or 1990s, like one-man off-Broadway play of just,
Exactly.
That was the summer that my uncle passed away. Of course he passed away.
Yes.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah. And what kills me is I didn't hear it. I didn't hear him. We were screaming for help. So I really... Anyway, yeah.
Oh,
great.
my.
Thank you.
You do not hesitate to leave the cell as he unlocks it, and you step outside quickly.
Yes. Do I have a sense for... So he's been there all night, so... Did I have a sense for any type of further relationship with the widow?
No.
With him? Okay.
No. At least you didn't catch anything. No, it was almost as if, even though you'd been successfully like reading or kind of sniffing out what was going on with her, at least an idea of what was going on beneath with her, she again just sort of stood back and just stared you down as you were hauled out of there.
Okay.
But you leave this jailhouse, this prison, this police station, feeling as if it's the best course of action right now, and having promised to leave, even though you know that Lance Sanford...
I didn't say when.
Nope. And besides, Lance Sanford at the house, back at the ferry, is unable to leave currently. And sure enough, you step out onto the street, this fog remains uneasily thick in the air.
Okay.
You return, finding it's the best course of action right now. You return to your room at the hotel, perhaps just looking to regather your thoughts. And as you turn the key in your lock and your door swings open, it reveals a startling scene. Your room has been ransacked. The bed is overturned, the covers are strewn about, the dresser drawers have all been pulled out and emptied. You hold your briefcase close to you, wondering, like, basically thinking again, it was like what a good idea it was to have brought with you. Because anything else of value that you see around you is gone, that you had with you. Anything you may have gained from the estates, you have the two things that you have in the estate sale are in your possession, but anything you brought with you beyond the basic essentials is likewise missing. The window hangs open, and it lends a surreal nature to the scene in front of you, because letting that greenish mist into the room. You step across the broken things on the floor, the broken plate from where you had eaten breakfast earlier today. You close the window to keep out the chill. But as you stand over this mess, considering your options, there's the sounds of a loud and violent commotion drifting in from the room next door. You hear it from the room next to yours. A clear sound of what sounds like a scuffle and a thud against a wooden floor. Now you can ignore it, or you can choose to go investigate.
I'm going to go investigate.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going to press my ear. Wait, is there people in the door? Is this people time or no? There are no peoples in this time?
Probably not in this small town no. And this is coming from the wall next to the room next door. So it's not outside in the hall. It's the room next door.
I'm going to be listening, but I approach my door and I just gently open it and I peer outside, hoping to catch a glimpse of someone coming out.
How long do you wait? You look outside, and you again hear from the door, but you still don't notice anyone coming out. And then
I don't know what...
You hear again a further sound of ransacking. You hear drawers tossed out of a dresser.
Okay. I don't know what compels me, but I take the robe off out of the bag and I put it on, which instantly just gives me this red flush, and I immediately start coughing and sneezing. And I leave the room and I knock on the door and I'm like,
you step over to this room and the adjacent room's door is open. And as you reach up to knock, you see a large and familiar looking man in a dark suit looming over the prone body, and down on the floor you see the man in orange robes, the monk, Banyu. Beaten and bloody down on the floor as the man in the suit has clearly been working him over. He has his back to you. And even as you stand there in your robe, having an allergic reaction, you reach your hand up to knock, but you don't think you've been noticed yet in this moment. With a little luck, you might be able to get the drop on him and subdue him if you want.
I don't want. I back up and I stifle. I really stifle my coughs. I went in there with a lot of chutzpah. I thought I was going to help and work my way into that room, but I'm not interested. So I'm going to go back into my room. You
do have in your possessions in your briefcase. I will also note, as we discussed before the show, you do have a gun.
I do, but it's a tiny gun and he's a big guy.
It's true.
And I realize that the robe is causing me such an allergic reaction that I cannot control myself. And I would never get a proper aim because I'm just sneezing so much and my eyes are starting to puff up. So I need to get this off immediately. This is a terrible idea. So.
You step away from the scuffle. And having second thoughts, you do your best to, as you're hearing the clattering and the banging in the next room, and you do your best to pointedly ignore it. Whatever may be going on in there, it doesn't involve you. Oh no. As you do your best, that's dark. As you do your best to cover your ears, your beautiful, your best talents. You finish setting things straight as you try to busy yourself as these sounds coming from next door, and you take a deep breath, pondering your options.
Yes, I'm very quietly putting my things back together because it feels so good to put my room back together. It makes me feel less like scared, but I'm very quietly doing it because I don't want them to know that I've gone back into my room. Weirdly, they never heard me coughing. So anyway, I'm putting my drawers, folding my items up, and I'm putting them in the drawer, and I'm just quietly putting it back in the dresser, and I can still sort of hear because I cannot stop hearing things. I can hear so well that even by shoving all of my bun hair into my ears, I can still hear.
As you do this, And you're standing in this room really doing your best to ignore what's going on. You're clutching, you've taken the robe off?
Yes, I ripped that thing off.
You ripped it off.
Immediately.
You've taken the robe off as you stuff that back in, but you're doing your best to try to ignore what's going on as it's all become too much. And you find yourself, in fact, make a sanity roll.
Oh gosh,
you did
Morgan.
this to yourself. Make a sanity roll.
I feel like somebody needs to ask me to do that every day of my life.
Yeah, no kidding. In 2026,
okay.
we're all making sanity rolls every day.
Why? What do you mean? What's going on? Okay.
So you roll a D100 and you're trying to beat a 50.
Oh, why is this?
Your starting sanity is 50.
89.
Oh no, that's a failure. Oh, you take 4 points of sanity damage. So that's going to knock you down to a 46 sanity.
46, yeah. Okay.
As you take this moment, and it's literally, yes, I think as we describe you basically standing there doing your best to like basically ignore what's going on next door, as these men in this dark suit seem to be ransacking and beating up the man next door. I will say, after several moments, after things have started to quiet down, your eyes go to something you hadn't noticed on the wall of your room prior to this, a map of the surrounding area. And as you're doing your best to ignore it, you notice that Esbury isn't actually an island. It's called an island. And the ferry is no doubt the fastest way to get here from the mainland. But there is a connection to the mainland through a forest. And that if you wanted to leave, you could leave. Looks like it would take you hours. But you wouldn't have to take that boat. And Lance Sanford wouldn't be, who you already know is unwilling to leave the shore with the weather conditions currently being what they are. You might be able to make it back to the road by nightfall. You could continue your investigation, try to find out more about Professor Harris, or you could take your journal and your robe, and you could leave.
I think that as I'm folding up my things, I'm realizing that just subconsciously, I thought I was putting them in the drawer, but I really have started taking them back out and I'm shoving them in my briefcase. And I've already packed up all of my things and I'm figuring out if I can shimmy my way out of this window down to the street level, because I've seen on this map that I could go by foot.
Yeah.
And it seems like such a good idea. And I start climbing out the window.
Mm-hmm. Make a this would be like, make a dexterity roll. You're actually pretty dexterous, but make a dexterity roll. I think your dexterity is a 70 something. Let me double check.
80
as an 80. It's your best physical stat. Make a dexterity roll.
Isn't that fun? 30.
I was going to make it a hard success to basically, and yes, that is a hard success. So you are able to, in this fog, and you get the sense that this is all you just lost 4 sanity points as you are purely in fight or flight mode at this moment. And you couldn't even consider even walking back out into the hall because you know you'd have to pass that open door again and you don't want to see it. As it's almost like you're being chased by the ghost of your own cowardice. And you step out into this window, out onto the ledge, holding on in this green mist gathering around you in all directions. How'd you end up here? But at the end of the day, you're just a private investigator. You're just a paid contractor for a client. And you've done what your client paid you to do. And that's what you keep telling yourself as you shimmy down the water pipe on the corner of the building.
Mm-hmm.
As you try and you set out following the map that was on the wall. Did you pull it down? Or did you leave it?
Did I pull the map down?
Yeah.
No, I left it, but I got it up here.
But you remember it up there.
But then I also realize I'm not great with directions. I'm not great directionally. So I have already forgotten if it's down that way or down that way.
You get yourself into this fog, and it is disorienting from the start. And even on a good day, you start to realize this trip would be arduous. But sure enough, it's a small town. It does take you some time. And then, as you let your hair down, your messy bun down from your ears, they do start to reconfigure themselves. You do start to get your slight sense of direction back, and you are able to tell at least, all right, that way was the ferry. So that way through the woods. And it takes you some time, but your gut tells you that even though it'll be difficult, this is the way. You feel it's your best interest to leave this business behind, and a walk through the woods is the most expedient route out of Esbury with the ferry out of commission. You strike out for the edge of town and make your way to the tree line. Over an hour or so later, you find a trail that's fairly well kept, as is frequented by the city's citizens of Esbury, where they engage in leisure activities such as hunting and camping. As you march silently into the mist, you're even able to make out an occasional sign denoting trail names or campgrounds. The markers peek out at you from the fog, going unnoticed until you're almost on top of them. Curious as to the reduction in visibility caused by the mist, you stick your arm straight out in front of you, noting with slight discomfort that you're unable to make out your fingernails through the murk. Visibility is that low. So you start to walk faster, hoping that the more ground you cover, the sooner you'll be free of the fog. Despite your best efforts, the mist's greenish glow is your constant companion. It starts to become difficult to remember even what time it is. You walk on for what must be more than an hour before coming to a fork in the path. Given the fog's density, you aren't quite able to make out which direction from here you should go. Your sense of direction is starting to fail you. Thankfully, you spot the silhouette of a signpost in the gap between the trails, and you make your way towards it. The paint on the sign is worn, and they're entirely indistinguishable from one another. Perhaps on a good day, you might be able to make out the words on them, but in this fog, that task is completely impossible. It's high enough, and as we said, you can't see past your own hand. If you want to make your way out of here, you're going to have to rely on your own skill and knowledge. Give me a navigate roll, which is not one of your strengths. I believe your score is a 10.
It's not great.
Oh no! What'd you roll?
19.
I mean, you have You spent 4 luck earlier.
Yeah.
How much? Where's your luck at now? Wait, no, that wasn't. That was a 4.
No, that was that was a
9 luck.
I've gotten. I think I used 2, didn't I?
I know you used less than 10. But yes, please mark down the amount of luck. Basically, I believe we'll call it 8 that you had spent previously.
Oh, okay.
I don't have it here in front of me, but yeah.
Okay.
She only used 4. Angel says thank you.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Angel.
Good point. Oh, it's Dungeon Speedrun says 7. All right, guys. All right,
okay,
let's
meet in the middle.
We're calling it
let's
5.
Say 5.
We're calling it 5.
Let's call it 5.
So you spent 5 points of luck.
Uh-huh.
So you have 15 points of luck if you would like to. So if you rolled a 19, that's what you rolled?
Mm-hmm.
You could spend 9. That would reduce you down to 15. So that would be, you would only have 6 points of luck after that. But I don't know. This feels like a big roll.
Let's do it.
Okay. With a little bit of luck.
95.
Wait, no. You already rolled it.
Oh, I already rolled. I had to roll again.
You already, no. You don't need to roll again.
Copy. Okay, great.
No.
Great, because that's not great.
So you rolled a 9. No. You rolled a 19. You needed a 10.
Okay, great.
And so you spent 9 points of luck to navigate directly.
I see. Okay.
So
Okay.
you just kind of cross your fingers, letting your ears lead the way, and you pick a direction. And it's some time.
I feel like, yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
I'm hearing that thumping sound again. And I want to go toward it. So I choose that way.
Judging by the direction you're traveling, it's a few minutes, but it starts to feel as if you've made the correct choice. You leave the crossroads behind and you put one foot in front of the other, plodding silently down the foggy path. You feel the elevation begin to change beneath your feet. You're sloping downward now, presumably following a trail that winds down along the length of the lake. Your suspicions are soon confirmed as the ground beneath your feet becomes increasingly wet and then waterlogged. It isn't long before your shoes are covered in mud and water begins to rise around your feet as you slog through the marshy ground. 1 second. Make sure I've got something right. Yeah, okay. Suddenly, the water level rises sharply.
Oh.
You feel it surge up to your calf, then to your knee. And as you wade through the muck, you find yourself hoping that the water level will recede the further forward you go. But it doesn't. As you slosh onward, the water rises to your waist and shows no sign of getting any shallower. But you're confident in your directions and that knocking sound.
And I'm confident because my pants stay up because I have suspenders.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
You've chose the correct path, and the area is flooded. You'll have to swim into the fog and hope to reach the other side of this unexpected inlet if you're to make your way out of here. Make a swim roll. I know it's not your, and it's not, this is not life or death, but make a swim.
Okay. 63.
63 over 10, 20?
20.
So 63 over 20, that's a fail. So you're gonna lose 1 hit point.
Okay.
Basically, you really start to tire yourself out. And you can barely see anything in this fog, but you try to keep your course as straight as possible, half walking, half swimming through this muddy, watery, flooded area, hoping there are no hidden twists or curves in this path. You're keeping your briefcase above your head, holding the journal and the robe, those things that you were paid to come here for. You wade further into the muck and begin swimming. You splash through the water for several minutes before running into trouble. Something cuts your leg. Presumably a submerged fallen branch or log. Splintered and broken, it digs in deep enough to open a wound. But eventually, you reach the opposite side, where the path emerges out of the water. You clamber out of the water and shake off the worst of the wetness. You're covered in filth and are soaked to the bone, but at least you're on the path. However, you are cold and wet, and it's started to get dark, and the fog makes navigating that much harder. And even through this dark green, pistachio-colored fog, there's a faint glow that isn't quite green coming from above you. You realize it's the moon. Even though the trail is beneath your feet, it's hard to navigate. You're cold, and there's some things come to, some memories of teachings come to you. You resolve to make a fire, because you know that you could suffer hypothermia if you're out here at night. The way people die most quickly is exposure. You find that you have to dry yourself. a survival roll, and I will give you a bonus die for this. So roll twice. The moon,
Okay.
the moon in this moment is aiding you.
30 and 100.
30 and 100, and we'll take the 30.
So 30.
Okay. Great. Oh yes. Okay. Great. 1 second. Okay. I have to say I when I ran this adventure twice for myself before, and I do not know where we're going now. This is amazing. You walk to the edge of the trail and you gather some fallen branches. Like a good survivalist, you had the presence of mind to conceal a match on your person. It's wet, it takes a little while, but you manage to kindle a few small flames. You spend some time around your tiny fire, taking in the warmth. You don't wish to linger long, though, so you improvise a torch to carry with you and continue on your way. It's a long, arduous journey. You follow the trail for hours on end through the darkness and fog, pausing only occasionally to feed the flames of your torch. Your feet blister and ache, and your eyelids droop from weariness. All the while, you fight against the gnawing, looming terror growing in the back of your mind, wondering what you left back there. Before you clear, at a certain point, you reach a clearing at the top of a hill. And maybe it's the regret, maybe it's the guilt that you feel, but you look back at that town of Vesbury, on that island that wasn't an island. Because you're high enough. Because maybe that fog is thin just slightly. You realize the entire town is flooded. That water that you swam through has started to creep up over the buildings. It takes you a moment because you realize that dance hall where that estate sale was last night, from the distance that you can tell, it looks like it's covered in 5-6 feet of water. How? When? As you stand there, just stock still at the strangeness of the sight in the distance, you see something in the lake. 2 massive eyes. Reptilian. Like some otherworldly, unearthly crocodile. Massive. Dozens of feet apart. Peering at you and at this town. And it occurs to you where you've seen something of that shape and that horrific visage before. In that idol. You survive. And you're going to make it back to Boston. Back to your little office where Professor Connolly taught you, or hired you. And you're going to read in the newspaper in the days coming that the resort town of Vesbury was reported to have mysteriously flooded in the middle of the night, claiming the lives of all of its residents as they slept. No reason is cited as to the cause of the flood. No survivors, bodies, or debris are reported to have been found. But you know there's a survivor. And you don't know what you escaped that night. Roll me another sanity roll. And I'm going to give you a penalty die on this one. Roll twice.
16.
And take the higher. I need you to roll again, please.
63.
63 over 44, or over 46. This is a longer term one. As you take an additional 3 points of sanity damage. But this is drawn out over time. And you still occasionally hear that sound of that knocking wood. That guided you away from this town and somehow allowed you to survive it. Do you continue being a private investigator?
No. I don't feel like I have what it takes. I realize I have too much social anxiety to deal with so many strange characters.
Lance Sanford, Officer Powell, Amelia Harris, Joshua, Banyu, drowned.
Amelia.
Those strange lizard-like eyes that seemed to preside over it all. Like something that had come calling back for what was taken from it.
I think it's mostly that I realize I don't want to be a private investigator because I don't think I want to know.
Maybe the things in the dark can't hurt you if you don't go looking for them. Maybe.
Yeah.
Try to put it all behind you. You got back to the dock where you had taken the ferry that day, got into your car and drove back. You went back. You returned the journal and the robe, I assume, to Professor Connolly. He paid you, but it was a short conversation, as he seemed to want to know more, but you weren't in the mood to give him much more besides what you'd already given him. These stories in this world can turn people into ghosts, sometimes literally and sometimes living ghosts. And for now, at least, maybe we'll find her again later. Jackie Lauderbaugh started drifting through the world as a living ghost, desperately trying not to go looking for those things in the dark. Thank you, Kiki.
Thank you.
Spooky. Sometimes the spookiest ones are the ones where you survive.
I kind of, yeah.
This is what it says. I will read what it says. Your visit to Esperia is over. Yeah, we know. You survived by abandoning the town to its fate. While you do not fully comprehend what went on there, you're relieved to have avoided your own demise. Still, the memories of that night will haunt you for quite some time. Congratulations on surviving alone against the tide. Congratulations.
I kind of love this. It never occurred to me that I didn't have to solve the town's issues. And then when we were leaving, I was like, yeah. What would happen if I just said like, thanks.
Valid. No, it is so funny. I'm going to save some of this for the short rest, actually, because I think we have a lot of it. But,
Okay.
Just ask Serena. Being the final girl isn't always what it's cracked up to be.
That's so funny.
Especially if it means you just basically ran away. But valid behavior.
Yeah.
Because again, as a private investigator, you were a paid contractor to be there. You noped out.
Yeah, and it clearly did not have what it takes to be a private investigator.
At least you discovered that
I was
young.
a trainee.
You know, yeah. You went, nah, I'm good.
And I was like, ooh, this is rough. I have to talk to so many people. I'm not very good at this. So funny.
At the end of every show, we like to read aloud the names of certain higher level patrons and the styles of their choosing. The other thing you'll notice, Kiki, is doing the Patreon names at the end of every episode is it's a lot more whiplash when you're doing cosmic horror into it.
Oh, well.
I should have. I've emailed those names to you. You have those in front of you.
Okay.
You and I get to do this together.
Oh my goodness. What's the style?
Let's see. Oh wait, no, I don't think I did send it to you. Hang on one second. I've got those styles written down.
I feel like I could remember a lot of the names though, unless there's new.
I'm sure you can. We know them pretty well by this point.
I know. I love them.
Your guys' names are tattooed on our brains. We lose every sanity roll. Okay, great. I just sent those to you. All right, and with the first suggestion tonight for Team Force of Shadow, we have a suggestion from Critical Nerds. Just kind of timely. I like this. It reminded me of War of the Worlds. Telling the first science fiction story live over the radio, a la War of the Worlds, like Orson Welles.
It hasn't shown up yet. This is great. Amazing.
Brought to you by Bordeaux. It's I Think I'm Nuts Radio Hour as we tell the story of the Black Kikari and the great Lincoln break of the cosmos. We go now to the SS Failwaffle on its journey of intergalactic peace. What say you, Gateway Guy? Will the Gateway Guy escape from his arch nemesis, Idaho Judd? Or will he or will he be forced to succumb to the cold depths of Abracadabra? Next time on the Bordeaux Radio Hours, I Think I'm Nuts radio show, the Black Kikari will return. Look, I can do these solo.
I got it. It's right here.
It is true. When we first started doing these, we used to do these solo. When we first started doing these during, we would, one of us would roll a die and we would do these solo. I'm sure the audience remembers that because
that's so funny.
I came up with the invention of a sport called round ball Kiki, which is not soccer. It's not the same thing.
I like it.
That's a story.
Okay, sorry, I missed that whole first one, but that was quite the science fiction show. I
love you. Okay.
What is Force Team?
For Team Force of Light, we have a suggestion from Idaho Judd. I like this one. A librarian trying to explain the Dewey Decimal System to a class of Gen Alpha children. What are we doing? What is this building?
Hi, children. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Yep. You'll have a bathroom break in just a moment. We just have to get through this. Okay, listen up, Angel Devilson. Don't put your fingers in your nose. Come on, Angel Devilson.
You're not my mom.
All right. Shh. City Racing Girl. Shh. Inside voices.
Well, your parents named you City Racing Girl.
Oh, Thunderrail, Thunderrail, put that book down. I know it smells weird, but we got to put it right back. We got to put it in order, okay?
How long until we get to go see the Ghostbusters Quick Response Unit? What is this stupid place and all these books?
Okay. We will get to the dungeon speed run right after recess, but first we have a lesson from Braba. Braba is my TA, librarian.
Hi, yes, hello. First of all, the Dewey Decimal System is a very complex set of numbers that will help you find things. For instance, if you're looking for geology, like rocks, you can go to section 777.321. But if you're looking for just jewels, for instance, you can go to 777.32. Isn't that fascinating?
You're being unbearably loquacious. You stop that right now.
Okay.
Listen.
Okay, so let's say who doesn't love the fantastical world of Tuomask? Tuomask is fiction, right? So if you're just looking for the world of Tuomask, that is going to be in the I don't know. They're gone.
They're not paying attention.
They're not paying attention.
We should just get rid of all these books. I don't even think they know how to read.
You're right. Who cares? I mean, look, just Google it, kids. Google it on your phones.
Just use your phones.
Thank you, Team Force of Light.
That's the saddest.
That was bleak. This has been a bleak night. Oh my goodness.
Do they even utilize the Dewey Decimal System
I believe
anymore?
so. I mean, libraries are still out there. They didn't just throw away their own filing system. Look,
There were some schools in LA that didn't have libraries anymore.
I believe it. Oh, I believe it for sure.
Anyway,
how dare they? We have some dedicated librarians in our viewing audience, I will say.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I bet they were a lot nicer than my librarian.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but were you nice to your librarian, or did they not like you for a reason?
No, I loved them so much. They were so sweet. Always the smartest in the whole school.
True.
And just very very thankless job. Super thankless job.
Absolutely. I mean, but you get to hang out around books all day. Maybe one of them is a Rupert Giles from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You never know, because he was a librarian. Anyway. Thank you, friends. We're going to take this to what should be a rousing short rest as we discuss more about Jackie Lauderbaugh and what perhaps might befall her. Thank you, Kiki. This was wonderful.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. It's nice to be with you again.
All right. We will see you real soon. Be on the lookout for next Wednesday. I will announce it as soon as I can. There's some fun stuff coming, and more Stormborn and more Forbidden coming real soon. Thank you so much, friends. Have a great rest of your Wednesday night. We'll see you later. Humankind.
Humankind.
Be both. Bye.